Hello, hello, and welcome to Melissa's Crafting Treehouse. My name is Melissa Kerman, and I've got a fun crafting project for you tonight. I am just going to pull myself up here on Facebook. I'm using StreamYard tonight, and if you have given StreamYard permission in the past, your comments will show up. Otherwise, it will be anonymous. So go ahead and give permission if you're game to do that. And I'm going to see if I can pull up Facebook here and on my other screen to see if I can see comments there as well. Let's see if I can show that up. All right, so tonight I have a project I'm calling a 2-for-1. We're actually going to make two cards. I finished one that's here, and what I did as a little sneak peek earlier on Facebook. Hi, Mary Beth. Good to see you here. Yay. So, yeah, I shared a sneak peek, and I'm going to do 2 different cards, same basic design, but in different color schemes. I love to make sets of cards, and I love when a set of cards is really colorful. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Got some announcements for you as well tonight. And let's go ahead and face the camera down. You guys can see what I'm working with today. Okay, and do comment if you're joining in. I love to hear from you guys, to know where you're from and what you think of the project that I'm sharing and all that good stuff. Love to converse with you guys as I do my lives. All right. And I'm still trying to see if I can find me on Facebook so that I can really see comments. It's always tricky though, because it doesn't want to show up right away. All right. I think I'm going to stop trying to do that. Okay. So here's my screen. Here's my desktop. So the 2 things that I'm using, main things, Gorgeously Made and the Phrases for All. I love these 2 sets. This has some great elements for doing collage-y type things, and I love that. And I love anything foliage and plant matter. And this is my card design. So love that. It's actually pretty simple. And like I said, we're going to do 2 different versions of this in different color schemes. So I'm going to move those off to the side. And just a couple quick little announcements here. So, of course, share, tag, follow, like, all those good things here on Facebook and on YouTube, whether you're watching live or the replay. I appreciate that so much. Yeah, so please do that. You can tag a friend or just share the link or whatever. All right, so some of the things going on right now with Stampin' Up. If you earned any bonus days coupons in July, now is the time to redeem them. You have all of August to do that. You would have earned a $5 coupon for every $50 in merchandise that you spent. Kits are on sale this month, also up to 30% off. One of them, the cheapest ones, are $11.70. Crazy, right? So pretty cool. Super quick and easy way to do some paper crafting or to take it on vacation with you or whatever. So the kits can be really, really a lot of fun and so simple. I see more people joining in. Yay. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Shelly. Hi, Polly. So glad to see you here. Yay. All right, so what else? There's a new MiniCatalog that's coming. Now for customers, that will be available September 6th. For demonstrators, we can pre-order starting yesterday. And I placed my pre-order, a nice big sizable pre-order, and got all of the things that I can to show the product shares that are coming up. So product shares coming up, that information will be live next week. So super excited to share those. This is a phenomenal MiniCatalog. So good, so many things, way too much for me to buy all at once, but I did buy a fair amount. Got a 50% off item too. Love that. So anyway, if you want to get in on the pre-order and you're not a demonstrator, you can join, buy the starter kit, get a great deal, and you can get those pre-order items in your starter kits, which is awesome. All right. We just finished up with the Summer Makers Mojo Creative Escape, and next week we're going to have a week-long early bird registration. So we do a special drawing just for people who register early. That's going to open on August 8th. So the project I'm sharing tonight, there will be a free PDF tutorial for it, and that will come out in next Wednesday's newsletter. So you can look forward to that. And I am planning on going live next Thursday because as long as my products arrive for the product shares, I'm going to be showing my product shares walkthrough. And so that's, let's see, what did I see? 36 different products that you'll get to see in my product shares walkthrough. So whether you buy the product shares or interested in them or not, you'll get to see all those lovely products and beautiful designer papers. So much fun. All right, that's enough for the little updates here. I see Jolene has joined in. Hi, so good to see you here, Jolene. All right, so again, this is the project that we're making tonight. I'll bring it up to the screen. Super pretty. I kept it pretty simple tonight. I thought of some other additional things I could do, but I decided to keep it simple. So, and again, these are the 2 stamp sets I'm using. All right, so let's get to the what's this whole twofer thing. So I am starting with a piece of basic white cardstock that is the size of a regular card body. It's like I could fold it in half and it'd be a card body, just like this. So it's 5.5 by 8.5. And I'm going to start with my anti-static tool, my embossing buddy, and I'm just going to cover the whole thing. So I'm essentially going to get 2 cards from this one piece, and I've kept it large for a reason. Okay, so I'm grabbing my images, and along the bottom, I'm going to start with stamping this first image here. And I'm going to work my way across a little bit at a time, doing my images along the bottom, kind of trying to visualize where my halfway point is. And now I'm going to come in again with this other foliage image. Comment if you have the this gorgeously made stamp set, and I'd love to know what you think of it too. Okay, so I'm going back and forth. I wanted some of these solid images in there, but not too many of them. I am partial to this image here. I think it's so delicate and pretty. So I'm using more of those in my design. Now you see a little shadow on there because my Versamark isn't actually that clean, but we're going to be heat embossing in white, so I don't have to worry about that too much. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to just tuck in here with this final image. All right, and then I might go back and add a few more just along the side, but I'm going to kind of mostly leave it like that. So now what I would do is I'm going to turn it over and do all the same images on the other side, and then I'll pull in my white embossing powder, cover the whole thing, heat it all up, and by the magic of TV, I've got it all done on the back side. So what I did was I stamped along the bottom and the top, both with those repeating images. You can see it's shiny because that's the white heat embossing. So I'm saving myself a little bit of time by not having to do that here on camera. And it's a lot, so it would take a little while to do all that heat embossing. So we're just jumping forward. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in my cutter. I like to use this guillotine cutter. And because this is a full half sheet, so 5.5 by 8.5, I'm going to cut it down to 4.25 by 5.5. And I'm doing 2 different color schemes, so that's why I'm doing that. So there's my twofer. Not too complicated there. Really simple little idea. And then one at a time, we're going to work on each of these. Okay, so now I want to talk about color scheme. So for this one, I actually used 4 different colors. My Blackberry Bliss, Melon Mambo, Berry Burst, and Calypso Coral. And when I was picking my colors, this is what I do. Very high tech here. I basically just take my ink pads and I rub them on my paper just to see how they all go together. So for this one, my Blackberry Bliss, and that was just the Melon Mambo and Calypso Coral. And here I decided to add in the Berry Burst, which kind of made the nice bridge between those two colors. And that's how I settled on this color scheme. So when I was thinking about other color schemes, I did the same thing. And we're going to do both of these tonight. So here I've actually got 5 colors: Gorgeous Scrape, Highland Heather, Starry Sky, Orchid Oasis. So I have that right? Yes. And Tahitian Tide. I decided I was just playing with how the colors looked. I don't know if you guys do this, looking at your colors this way, but it's a really handy way to kind of decide what colors go together, especially if you're blending and mixing your colors. Now for this one, I decided I didn't really need the Highland Heather, so I'm going to skip that. And we're just going to use the remaining 4. And then I've got another color scheme here. When we do that one, I'll talk about that. All right, so we're going to start with the blues and purples. And I like to have my darkest color towards the top so that I can fade into the lighter colors into the middle. So let's start with that. Okay. So I've got my Gorgeous Scrape to start with, and I'm going to do that towards the top. I like to go nice and dark towards the top, but not covering too much because I do have 4 colors I'm trying to get in here. And then I'm going to do the bottom, starting off the page to get all the smudgy, smeary looking parts not on my piece. Okay, next up we got Starry Sky. These are some of my favorite colors. What about you guys? You guys probably already know that I love my purples, and the Tahitian Tide and Orchid Oasis are, they're kind of bluish purples to me, and I love them. Love, love, love them. So now I'm working with the Starry Sky. Polly, you have the Gorgeously Made. Have you made things with it? You having fun playing with it? I used it for one of my Maker's Mojo projects. Okay, there's that. Now I'm going to do the Orchid Oasis, and I'm going to use the same blending brush with this one. Might need more ink on these ink pads. I'm having to work hard to get this on here. Okay. And last but not least, I've got my Tahitian Tide. Hi, Laura Lee. Hi, Trisha. Good to see you guys here joining in. Okay. And then Tahitian Tide. Now I'm trying to keep the center kind of on the light side. I want it to sort of fade into a little bit of white. So I love this Tahitian Tide. So I'm going over some of the previous color just a little bit as well when I'm doing this. And then when most of this ink is off, I'm rubbing it off here, I'm going to go in the center just to give it a really light bit of the Tahitian Tide. Okay. All right, so now I want to actually blend the colors a little bit. So I'm going to bring some of my Tahitian Tide up into the other colors. Oh, I love this. Who else loves this color combination? Me. I know, who else? Like I'm 2 people. Okay, let's do a little bit more. Let's do the Orchid Oasis. I think I need to bring that in the center just a bit more. Okay, so there's what I got so far. In camera, it looks like I have less color on there than it does in person. Yes, I know you love the blues and purples, Shelley. I love that card you sent me a while back in the blues and purples. So pretty. Okay. Okay, so there is that. Now I'm going to actually put these colors away, and let's do the other one. I just love a rainbow of colors. Color, color, color. So much fun. Okay, there's that. Move this aside. I'm going to bring my other one in. And for this other one, here's the color scheme I played with the first first go round. So I've got Parakeet Party. This is actually Daffodil Delight, Crushed Curry, Pumpkin Pie, and then this is actually the new color, Copper Clay. And over here, hidden behind, is Cajun Craze. Now, I love this color scheme. I really wanted to do something fall feeling. I'm already thinking fall. I don't know about you guys, but I love fall colors. And I love this color palette, but it's a lot of colors. And these are pretty dark. And I really wanted the green to be over the leaves for maybe the obvious reason. So I decided to skip those two last colors, the Cajun Craze and Copper Clay. Testing my brain here. And I decided not to do the Crushed Curry either. So I'm just going to go with three colors here: Pumpkin Pie, Daffodil Delight, and the Parakeet Party. So, and hopefully that's going to give us a nice sort of fall-like look. Okay. All right. So we're starting with our parakeet at the top and bottom. This isn't such a super dark color, so to go over it a little bit more. I love this color too. This is another one of the 2020, what is it? 2022, 24 in colors. I really need, let's see. This is going to be enough ink for me. Feels like it needs more ink. Need to re-ink this one, I think. I'll just have to go more subtle with my colors. That's looking really pretty. Okay, we'll do that. And now we got our Daffodil Delight. Such a pretty sunny yellow color. Hopefully my pumpkin isn't going to be too dark in the center, but we're just going to find out, aren't we? So just because I'm curious, while I'm inking away, we've got three color schemes here. Just comment and share. Are you the pinks, the purples and blues, or the greens and yellows? What's your favorite? What's your sort of go-to? And if it's all of them, that's okay. I love color. I love playing with color. So it's hard for me to pick a favorite, but sometimes it's just fun to hear from you guys if you have preferences. All right. So last but not least, I've got my pumpkin. And I don't want to have a too much of this because it's a pretty strong color. And these other ones are light. So I'm just going to try to get a little bit of that pumpkin pie in there. I kind of want a small blending brush for this, but I got a big one here, so that's what I'm working with. I think I'm going to go over the center with yellow. That'll help it stay light. Anybody voting? All of them? Mary Beth, you're all of them? Okay. Trisha, purples and blues. Karen, you like the blues? Cool. How funny. I actually, I am generally not much of a pink girl, but I like it when the pinks are mixed with other colors. And I think that's going to do it for me. I think we'll just go with that. All right. If I had more ink on my green, I'd probably go heavier on the edges, but I just can't seem to get enough of it to come off. All right. Maybe I have to give it one more try. I always like the edge to be a deep, dark color. So I got some nice contrast on the edge. Really work at that. I'm actually going to be taking off some of the edge too. So, all right, I'll stop there for now. No promises as to whether I'll go back to it or not. I might. Okay. Blues and then pinks. Shelly, yeah? All right. Yes. My go-tos are not usually this, although I do love fall colors. All righty. So now what I'm going to do, because this is a 4 by 5 1/4, and I don't want one that big in the end. My focal piece is what is it? 3 3/4 by 5. So I'm going to be cutting this down, and I'm actually going to double check my measurement just to make sure I'm remembering that right. Yes, my focal piece is 3 3/4 by 5. Now I'm going to be using the scraps from this, which is why I wanted it to be big. So I'm going to bring my cutter in, and I'm going to cut down. And I'm going to look at this and figure out which side I want to cut down. So I'm cutting off 4 1/4. I'm actually cutting off, it looks like almost a 1/2 inch. That's okay. 3 3/4, like that. And then when I do this way, I actually want to cut it evenly. I want to cut an even amount off, unless like this side has more foliage on it. So, but if I cut off a whole 1/2 inch, that's going to be a lot. So I am not going to cut off that much. I'm going to actually split the difference. I'm going to do a 1/4 inch off the bottom and a 1/4 inch off the top, or one end and the other, so that I end up with the 5. Okay. Now I cut my long piece first on purpose because I plan to use it on the inside. So I want to have the maximum length available to me. All right. I could have cut the short side first, and then I would have been putting my inside piece along the bottom. It'll make more sense in just a minute. All right. So now we're going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to choose which side I'm cutting off of. So I'm going down to 3 3/4. And then I'm going to take off a 1/2 inch from the bottom and then the top. I love having little scraps like this so that I can use them for the insides of my cards. These are actually really pretty ones. They're the edges, the dark parts. I might have to go back and add some dark parts. All right. So now I've got that, and you can see I've cut off most of my gorgeous grape, and that is just not going to be acceptable. So I have to add some gorgeous grape back in to my edge. Ooh, I love that. A little bit of dark purple. All right, so there's that. And I'm going to do the same thing with my green. If I can get some of that green off so that I get some more of a dramatic edge again. I'm so tempted to just put it right into the ink pad. I might just try it just for the heck of it. Okay, let's see what it does if I could do this. I'm just going to touch it against the edge. You never know what's going to happen unless you just try it, right? Ooh, I'm getting some dark on the edge. I like that. Direct to the ink pad, right? Why not? You get a lot more ink that way, a lot deeper color. Ooh, there's some dark. Still more on this side. And then I'm going to actually blend it a little bit. That was some dark on the edge for sure. Okay. So there are my two pieces. Now, you guys probably already know, but as a reminder, when you use heat embossing, the ink that sits on the surface of what's heat embossed resists the ink. It just sits on the surface. And if you don't wipe it off, it will get onto your clothes, your fingers, or on the inside white piece of your card. So you want to take a paper towel and make it a little bit damp and then wipe it off. And I'm going to just use a different part. So I'm going to wipe that off. And you can see a little bit of yellow came off, not a lot. And if you can tell the difference between the top and the bottom, this one I wiped off and that one I didn't yet. Now, if you do this method where you're doing the twofer and you're cutting down a larger piece, just keep in mind that you're going to be cutting some off. So I might have wanted to stamp a little bit more further in so that, because I only have a little bit in the way of images on the bottom and top. This one I had a lot more because I did this as a one-off. I did not try to do the double, the two of them. So just something to be aware of. Now I'm going to turn this over so that I'm not putting yellow or green onto this one and use a separate part of the paper towel to wipe off the excess on this one. And you can see the difference. That's nice crisp white, and that's got sort of, it's got the purple on the surface. So now we're going to make it nice and crisp and pretty. All right, so there we go. Okay, let's work on the sentiment for a second. I'm going to take this away, get a nice clean piece of paper here. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I hate to waste. I like to reuse things, repurpose things. And when I cut, I get a ton of scraps, especially white and black scraps. And I get all these pieces, like bunches of pieces that are all the same size, because of course I'm creating projects for groups and things like that. So I have this method for storing my cardstock strips. I know you're gonna think I'm crazy, but this is what I do. I get a stack and then I figure out how much they're width, and then I just keep those strips. And then when I need them for a project, I just grab a size that I need instead of having to cut a custom piece. And I have pieces at the ready for strips and sentiments and whatever else I need. So it's really quite handy. So I went in and I grabbed some strips from my pack that were about this width. And what I'm going to do is start by putting some adhesive on the back. This is going to be for my sentiment. I need my silicone craft mat here to help me with my adhesive. Just going to put that. Now this is just a release sheet from an old thing of dimensionals. That's what I'm using for this. And I'm doing this for a reason, so I'm going to explain it in just a sec. But I'm going to attach these pieces one under the other. And the bottom one is going to be for my U, and the top one's going to be for my thank. Now, if you look at the sentiment in this set, the U is centered underneath the thank, okay? So I didn't want it that way. Now I could have just stamped this on a piece of larger black cardstock and hand cut it out. I like the precision of straight cuts though, without hand cutting, because I don't tend to make it perfect if I hand cut. And I have all these strips, so I decided to use the strips, and I'm going to stamp them stamp it at the same time on their two pieces, okay? And they're just the right width for this. So I've got my embossing buddy. Just going to do my anti-static tool there. And my Versamark. Now this works much better if you're not on camera and you can get right over your piece so you can really see that it's in the right position. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that. Now I can see that my bottom piece needs to be over just a little bit to have it really be in the right position. Let's just try that again. No, it's too far over. And so I'm just lining it up. I want the thank to be along the bottom line of the top piece. And that should be pretty good. We'll see. My head wasn't over it, so hoping for the best there. And then I'm going to go ahead and just put it into my white embossing powder. Okay, I'm using my left hand to do that. That's not nearly as efficient. I'm a right-handed. I am not a left-handed person. Okay, there we go. Now I'm getting a little bit of white hanging off there, but you can see how pretty good that is, centered straight on there. I will take a paintbrush and get that little bit of powder off there so that I get a nice clean image. I have done one already off camera that's already heat embossed, so I can just put that one aside and do that little step later. So put that over there, and then by the magic of TV, I have my heat embossed pieces right there. So we'll use those for my card. And I have the other one heat embossed. We'll finish that up later. Okay. So let's put this baby together. So we're going to do both of these. It's going to be super fast. Got my adhesive. Okay, where are my pieces? Here they are. Okay, so now I didn't pick my all of my layers here, but I gave myself some choices. So I'm going to show you what my choices are. Let's see. Yeah, I need a little bit more on the inside there. Okay. It's a pretty thin edge. It's just 1/8 inch off, so let's just test this on my other one before I attach it. And I got to trim this off just a tiny bit so that I get an even edge on all the sides. Yeah, that's better. All right. So when I make cards like this, I just envision doing it in every color combination. And I love mixing colors. So much fun. Hi, Sharon. Glad to see you joining in. Okay. All right. There's that. Okay, now I get to pick my card body, and I've given myself a couple of choices. I've got, for this one, I've got the Starry Sky or the Orchid Oasis. And I'm going to go ahead and start by just attaching my sentiment pieces. And you guys have a preference for the Orchid Oasis or the Starry Sky, comment and let me know what your thoughts are. Okay, so that's just going to get tucked right in there. I'm not going to press it down quite yet. I've got those pretty close together. Okay. Oh, I see 2 orchids, 1 Starry Sky. Thanks for chiming in. All right, I think I'm going to go with the Orchid Oasis because it just shows up a little bit better to me. That I love the Starry Sky, but against the black, it's a little bit hard to see it. So we're going to go with the lighter color, I think. Thanks to those of you who voted. Okay. And actually, before I attach this, I'm going to show you the other choices for the other piece. Attach that in a sec. So we've got for this one, I'm either going to do the Parakeet Party or the Daffodil. So you guys can vote on that. Parakeet Party, isn't that pretty? Can I use some of both? Hi, Sharon. So glad you made it. All right, so yeah, you guys can vote. So Daffodil Delight, Parakeet Party. Which one for that card base? See what you guys think. I always have a gut reaction, usually when I see that sort of thing. And because I didn't have my background piece created yet, I'm looking at it live, just like you guys are. Okay, we got 1 parakeet 2 parakeets, 1 daffodil. Okay, 2 daffodils. Another parakeet. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, parakeets are winning, it looks like. Yeah, multiple parakeets. Okay. All right, the parakeets win. All right, let's do that one. So if anybody has not heard me say that the silicone craft mat is just a great tool for helping you when you're using this seal adhesive, because sometimes the adhesive retracts in and the rubber of the silicone craft mat helps pull it forward. Learned that trick from my friend Wendy Lee. Yay, Wendy. Okay, let's see. Which one do I want, top and bottom? I guess that's just as good as any. And I love that. It has helped me to make friends with my seal, my Stampin' Seal. All right, so we're going to get these other pieces aside. Now I have some white pieces for the inside, and the piece that I cut off from the edge, yeah, it's going to be a little bit longer than it needs to be. That's okay. So I'm going to just go ahead and attach it and snip off the end. I love having the rainbow of color on the inside of the card. I could have also stamped, but because I was using Versamark, it would mean, you know, cleaning the stamp in between and all that. So just easier to use a coordinating element from the background I created. Okay, off the edge there. This is such strong adhesive. It's wonderful. You know it's going to stay and not go anywhere. I'm not going to let my card fall apart. All right, let's grab my paper snips, trim off that little bit of excess. And we'll get these put on the inside. Let's put it on there. Get these in the way here. Now I haven't heat embossed that last sentiment, but I think you can visualize what it's going to look like. I always do a PDF tutorial for the things I show on Facebook, and I will do that with these as well. That PDF, again, will be available as a free download in my newsletter this next Wednesday. My newsletters come out on Wednesdays, so you can look forward to getting it then. And I will include photographs of these 2 additional color schemes as well, and I'll include the color combinations just so that it's there for your reference if you want to use it. Okay, we got just a little bit more. Got to add some embellishments to these, and we are good to go. The only thing I'll be missing is my sentiment. So there's the insides, just to give you an idea. Now, when I did this one, like I said, it was a one-off, and I did not make it a piece that was a quarter sheet, the 5.5 by 4 1/4. So I didn't have as much, but I had 2 tiny little strips because I was playing with my sizing, and I kind of liked that look too, right? So scraps can be a wonderful thing for embellishing your insides. So there's the insides. Okay, I feel like this poor baby is naked without its sentiment. It's kind of making me sad there. All right, so now I've got some embellishments. Now, for my original first card, I used these, the pink glossy dots assortment, and I love these. They're so bright and cheerful. I've got a couple in there, so they're sort of overlapping and looking funny, but there's the 4 colors, and that was part of my inspiration for doing these 2 color schemes. That I knew I would have these lovely glossy dots to coordinate with it. So we're going to add some glossy dots to this one, and I used a large and small up here in this spot, and then a small one right above the sentiment, and a medium one down here towards the bottom. And I kind of think of it as sort of a little triangular arrangement. It sort of gives it some balance, I think. So there's my purple one. And now the yellow one, I can put some of these on, but I can't really put the others on until I have my sentiment on there. Do you guys want me to just do the sentiment? Should I just heat emboss it so we have the satisfaction of completion? I don't know about you, but it might just bother me if I don't finish it. Maybe I should just do it. Comment. What do you think? You want to see that? It'll only take me a minute. As long as my heat tool is plugged in. Okay, let's see. Not even waiting for the vote. I'm just going to do it. So I don't have a paintbrush right here, so I'm just going to use my paper piercing tool to wipe off those excess little specks that are sitting there. Oh, darn it. Don't know what's going on with that. This might be a little bit of a messy one, but okay. I need a real paintbrush. I am going to just find one. I know I have one. Where would it be? Multiples. This is a little big for this, but it's what I got. All right. I'm going to go ahead and heat it up. Thanks for saying do it, Barbara. I appreciate it. I feel like I'm neglecting that yellow card, not finishing it up. It wants to be finished. I'm personifying my my cards. They're living things, right? Kind of funny. Okay, let's go ahead and get these on here. Start with that. I'm not pressing it down because I want to see, get my position right where I want it. I think that's probably pretty good. On my original one, I sort of had it in the open space that was got a little bit of the white, you know, the lighter bit in there. But with this one, I didn't really leave that so much. So, all right. And last but not least, my last little embellishment here off in the corner. So there we go. So there are my 3 finished cards. Are they not so pretty with all those colors? Now, I was thinking I should be making one to use the blue. This is balmy blue, but oh well, the blue is getting neglected today in favor of just these others. And I just love these. Love, love, love them. I hope you guys like them too. You love the extra pop that the strips give on the inside. Yes, I do too. Have to decorate those insides. Okay. You like all the colors, but of course, partial to blue. All right. I'm glad you like it too, Jean. Good to see you here. I didn't notice you had arrived. Wonderful. I'm so glad you like them too, Shelley. Lovely. So much fun, right? And they are so simple. You could kick out a whole bunch of these fairly quickly. Just make sure those ink pads are nice and inked up and juicy so you don't end up taking a long time to add that color. The blending, of course, takes some time, but that is the fun of it, right? Now, just a couple of other little ideas I thought of. If I wanted to spice it up even more, I could have made it look more collagey by adding some of the like little textural images in there, those. I could have sprinkled or splattered either water on it, although this is just white cardstock, probably work better on watercolor paper. But I could have sprinkled or spritz little bits of ink if I wanted some specks in there. That would make it really pretty as well. I love them as is, I will just say, but you could actually add more to it if you wanted to. So just in case you want to. All right. So that is what I got today. So just a couple quick little reminders. I hate to even cover my cards up, but I'm going to do it. So don't forget to share the video, tag your friends, follow me on Facebook, on YouTube, and of course, like the video. That's good with the algorithm, as they say. Don't forget to redeem your bonus days coupons or give them to a friend just for fun, right? And if you're interested in getting kits, you're taking a trip, you want something quick and easy to take with you, it's all inclusive. So don't forget those are 30% off, or they make great gifts. You could do your Christmas shopping early. They are, I think, while supplies last. So don't delay if you're going to order some kits. And again, if you are interested in getting taking advantage of pre-order and want to become a demonstrator, I'm your woman. Join and become a Treehouse Chick with a wonderful group of women. And some of you are here. So yay, so glad you're joining us too. And of course, Automakers Mojo Creative Escape early bird registration comes next week, August 8th, which is Tuesday. So watch for that. And next Wednesday's newsletter will have the free PDF tutorial for this project in there. So you can check that out. Also, product shares are coming and all goes as planned, and I get the products in time. I did expedite shipping, so I'm hoping they're here by early next week. I will be going live next week doing a tour of all those 36 products that are included in my product shares. So next Thursday, August 8th. So yeah, lots of fun coming. Okay, I'm just going to switch this up a little. Get to see my cards again. And again, those will be in the PDF, of course, and on my blog post, which will go live on Saturday. And this video will be live on YouTube also on Saturday. So yay, thanks for sharing, Sharon. Oh, and you like the red best, Lauralee? Okay, cool. I love that. I love them all, and I especially love them together because they make such a nice ensemble. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in here on Facebook for some live paper crafting with Melissa's Crafting Treehouse. I hope I've given you a little taste of some creative bliss. And I hope to see you next Thursday. So have a wonderful week, and we'll see you then. Bye. Thanks again for joining in. You're welcome. So glad you're here. Thanks, Lauralee. Yay. Hi, Karen. Good to see you. I think I saw you at the beginning. I think I said hello too. It's hard to remember everything, but I'm glad you like them all. All right. Going to sign off. Bye.